Hello everyone, welcome to today's videos. In this video, we are going to discuss about cost accounting standard. We all know that cost accounting standards are relevant for intermediate as well as final क्योंकि दोनों में ही पूछा जाता है. इंटर में भी 5 to 10 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है, फाइनल में भी ऑब्वियसली मोर देन दैट 10 to 15 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन आते ही हैं. एंड दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट बिकॉज एमसीक्यू में भी पूछते हैं और थियोरटिकल में भी पूछा जाता है. फाइनल में तो प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन भी पूछा जाता है इन कॉस्ट स्टडी पेपर 17 में, राइट. तो मैंने क्या किया, एक टेब्यूलर फॉर्मेट में कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 1 से 24 का पूरा एक कंसाइज एंड समराइज कंटेंट प्रिपेयर किया आप लोगों के लिए. आई होप आप लोगों को ये बहुत हेल्प होगा वंस यू हैव रीड the whole cost accounting standard and then comes to these videos and complete the videos entirely. I hope it will give you an edge कि हाँ आप लोग को एक ओवरव्यू मिल जाएगा through these videos, right? So let's start. The first we all know that cost accounting standard 1 which is deals with classification of cost. अच्छा, मैंने क्या किया है, मैंने एक ऑब्जेक्टिव इसका क्या है, इसका स्कोप कवरेज क्या है, इसका डेफिनेशन और कंसेप्ट और एक्सक्लूजन क्या क्या है, ठीक है. और ये तो रेफरेंस पेज है, जाके आप लोगों के लिए इजी हो कि कहाँ से मैंने इसको रेफर किया है, तो उसका मैंने मेंशन किया है, राइट. जैसे कि कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 1 वी ऑल नो दैट क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ कॉस्ट. What are the objectives? To bring uniformity, consistency in the principle of classification of cost for disclosure and presentations. Scope coverage क्या रहेगा इसका? Apply to all cost statement requiring classification, presentation and disclosure of cost. ठीक है. की डेफिनेशन एंड कंसेप्ट में हम लोगों को पता ही है, क्लासिफिकेशन बहुत तरीके हो सकता है. नेचर वाइज, मटेरियल, एम्प्लॉय, एक्सपेंसेस कॉस्ट. ट्रेसेबिलिटी वाइज, डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट. फंक्शन वाइज, प्रोडक्शन, एडमिन, सेल्स. Behavioral wise, fixed cost, variable cost, semi-variable cost. Process wise, batch process costing, operations. Terms wise, prime cost, conversion cost, cost object, cost center and standard cost. तो ये सब कुछ इन डिटेल डिस्कस किया गया है बुक में, इंस्टीट्यूट के मैड में भी ऑलरेडी कवर है. तो मैंने बस आप लोगों के लिए, ताकि आप लोग फटाफट रिवाइज कर सके एक बार, तो उसके लिए मैंने ये समराइज कंटेंट वीडियो आप लोगों के लिए बनाया है, राइट. सो इसका एक्सक्लूजन में क्या क्या रहेगा? No specific exclusion stated, but changes in classification must be disclosed in if material, right? अगर वो मेटेरियल है तो उसका चेंजेस यहाँ पे हम लोगों को क्या करना चाहिए, डिस्क्लोज करना चाहिए. तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 1. नेक्स्ट इज कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 2, दैट इज डील्स विद कैपेसिटी डिटर्मिनेशन. अच्छा, फॉर इंटरमीडिएट स्टूडेंट मैं बोलना चाहूंगा आप लोगों के लिए, आप लोगों के लिए तो ये वीडियो ही है ना पे, आप लोगों को इससे ज्यादा करने का दरकार नहीं है. बट फॉर फाइनल उन लोगों के लिए प्रैक्टिकल अलग से क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड से, उन लोगों के लिए उसके लिए प्रैक्टिस जरूरी है, ठीक है. तो आप लोगों के लिए मैं बोलूंगा एक बार आप लोग अच्छे से रीड कीजिए, उसके बाद ये वीडियो देखिए एंड देन जंप टू दी प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. So cost accounting standard 2 deals with capacity determination to standardize the principles of methods of determining the productive capacity of facilities. इसका क्या applicable where overheads are assigned based on installed normal और practical capacity है. अच्छा, इसके अंदर क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है जो हम लोगों को पढ़ना चाहिए. इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी एक है, ठीक है, जिसमें मैन्युफैक्चर स्पेस और एक्सपर्ट असेसमेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड. Practical capacity, that is installed minus internal losses is there. Normal capacity is average like over 3 to 5 normal periods. Ideal and excess capacity and bottleneck except included. ठीक है. तो मैंने क्या किया है, इसका डिटेल्स डेफिनेशन इंस्टीट्यूट के मैड में है, बट आप लोगों को एक ओवरऑल आइडिया देने के लिए मैंने उसका की पॉइंट उठा के यहाँ पे रखा है. इसका एक्सक्लूजन में क्या रहेगा ना, एक्सटर्नल एबनॉर्मल फैक्टर्स लाइक लॉकडाउन्स एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम नॉर्मल कैपेसिटी. तो these are the excluded from the part of the capacity determination calculations, right? तो इससे प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन भी पूछा जाता है. तो फॉर फाइनल स्टूडेंट्स आई विल emphasize on these topics and these standards as well, right? Next is cost accounting standard 3, that is all about production and operation overhead. इसमें क्या है, to define consistent rules for measurement, allocation, assignment or of indirect production cost. Now, what are the applicability to cost statement requiring classification and absorption of production overhead is there. Overhead is indirect materials, employees and expenses. Classification wise, that is variable, fixed and semi-variable cost, absorbed via activity based rates and assigned via cost effect or benefit received basis. Imputed costs are excluded, abnormal overhead costs are excluded, penalties and fines are excluded, untraceable cost not reasonably assignable, that is also excluded from this standard. Next is cost accounting standard 4, that is deals with cost of production or acquisition or supply of goods or service. Now, what are the objective? To define the method for determining total cost for GST valuation, inter-unit transfer, etc. Applicability may apply to valuation under Rule 3031. We all know that CGST and internal costing needs. Includes में क्या आ जाएगा इसके अंदर? Material आ जाएगा, employee आ जाएगा, direct expenses, overhead is also part of this. Quality, R&D, packing, admin, rework, WIP, scrap, adjustment wise product credit method is there, assignment by normal or actual is also part of this. Exclusion में finance cost is excluded, imputed cost excluded, and penalties and fines are excluded. Abnormal scrap and waste is also excluded. Next is cost accounting standard 5, that is average equalized cost of transportation, right? Now, what are the objective? To ensure consistency in determining and allocating transport cost over multiple cost objects. Now, what are the applicability? Apply where goods, materials, services are transported internally or externally, right? तो कंपोनेंट इसके अंदर क्या आ जाएगा? इंक्लूजन में फ्रेट, इंश्योरेंस, लोडिंग अनलोडिंग चार्जेस, मेथड्स के अंदर इक्वलाइज्ड कॉस्ट पर यूनिट ओवर पीरियड इज रेलेवेंट. Exclusion में demurrage cost and detention cost are excluded. Late payment penalties is also excluded. Next is cost accounting standard 6, that is deals with material cost, right? Now, what are the objective? To standardize principles for identifying, measuring, and allocating material cost applied to all entities where material is a cost element in product or services. What includes? It includes direct and indirect materials, duties like non-credit, freight, insurance, scrap adjustment, assigned based on traceability, BOM, usage ratios, normal loss included, abnormal clause also. ठीक है, तो इसके अंदर ये आ जा रहा है. नेक्स्ट इज कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 7 डील्स विद एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट. नॉट द ऑब्जेक्टिव टू प्रोवाइड uniformity in measuring and assigning employee cost. Applicability wherever employee cost is significant in cost statement. Now, what are the inclusions? Employee cost is equal to all costs like salary, allowances, incentives, benefits incurred for employees. Direct employee cost include attributable to specific cost object. Indirect employee cost is not directly linked to cost object. Separation cost is gratuity determined, amortized if material. Now, what are the exclusion? Imputed cost, abnormal cost, fines and penalties, recoveries and subsidies to disclosed सेपरेटली, रिकॉर्ड टू डिस्क्लोज सेपरेटली. तो मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, इंटरमीडिएट स्टूडेंट्स के लिए दीज वीडियोज आर एनफ, बिकॉज आप लोगों को इससे ज्यादा नहीं पूछा जाएगा. फॉर फाइनल स्टूडेंट्स आई विल recommend कि once you have complete the entire cost accounting standards readings from the institute maths, then you come up these videos and complete the lectures. After that you can practice the practical questions, right? तो आप लोगों को एक हेल्प होगा. नेक्स्ट इज कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स 8. Next, this deals with cost of utilities like standardized computation of cost of units like power, steam, water, etc. Utilities generated internally or purchased or consumed for operation is part of that. Inclusion में क्या आएगा? Utilities include electricity, compressed air, water, steam, etc. Allocation based or metering, technical norms, consumption ratios is part of that. Joint utility productions must be split appropriately. Now, what are the exclusion? Appropriate utility losses, imputed cost recovered from customers or third parties is also part. Next is cost accounting standard 9. Deals with what? Packing material cost. Now, packing material cost का objective क्या है? Ensure consistency in measuring cost of primary and secondary packing materials. Packing material कॉस्ट का और क्या पार्ट यहाँ पे एप्लीकेबल हो जा रहा है? पैकिंग यूज्ड फॉर इंटरनल एंड आउटडोर पर्पस, दोनों के लिए एप्लीकेबल होता है. नाउ व्हाट आर द प्राइमरी पैकिंग? लाइक एसेंशियल फॉर प्रोडक्ट प्रिजर्वेशन. सेकेंडरी पैकिंग इज फॉर हैंडलिंग, ट्रांसपोर्ट और सेल्स प्रेजेंटेशन. Valuation at landed cost, assignment based on usage or BOM, that is we all know that BOM, bill of material. Now, what are the exclusion? Fines, penalties, abnormal packing losses, reusable materials, amortize, etc. Next is cost accounting standard 10, direct expenses. Standardize identifications and assignment of direct expenses to cost object apply where direct expenses exist apart from materials and employee cost. Now, what are the inclusions? Expenses directly traceable to product or service. Examples: royalty, job charges, special design costs, lump sum or one-time cost are amortized over benefit period. Allocation based on traceability. What are the exclusions? Indirect expenses, non-attributable to admin or selling overheads, penalties or abnormal item, etc. Next is cost accounting standard 11. That is deals with administration overhead, administrative overhead, right? Bring uniformity in treatment of general admin cost. So general management cost not linked to production and sales. Applicability समझ में आ रहा है? General management cost which are not linked to production or sales. Now admin overhead के अंदर क्या cover होगा? Cost of management, finance, legal, IT, etc. Allocation based on rational basis like number of employees, revenue share, floor area, etc. Shared service costs separated and assigned carefully. Out of the exclusion, production and selling admin overhead, abnormal cost, imputed cost are excluded. Similarly, cost accounting standard 12 deals with repair and maintenance cost that provide a framework for measuring and assigning repair and maintenance costs applied to cost statement requiring asset upkeep cost. Now, what are the repair? Repair means regular planned upkeep, major overhaul, amortized over useful life, internal versus or outsources. Abnormal repairs, penalties and damages, cost of replacement, these are also part. Next is cost accounting standard 13. Cost accounting standard 13 deals with what? Cost accounting standard 13 deals with cost of service cost center. And to standardize how cost of internal support services are measured and assigned, right? So इसका objective समझ में रहा है? To standardize how cost of internal support services are measured and assigned. Now, what are the applicability applied to internal services like HR, admin, design, which support to production services? What are the inclusion part? Service cost center like indirect unit providing services to production or other cost centers assigned via usage metrics like floor area, service hour, and it does not include cost accounting standard 18 or repair cost accounting standard 12. तो ये सब important है from MCQ point of view. Now next is exclusion में क्या किया जा रहा है? Utilities repair services जो हम लोगों ने already discuss किया है cost accounting standard 18 and 8 and 12 abnormal cost and penalties. Next is cost accounting standard 14 that is deals with pollution control cost. What are the objective to ensure uniformity in tracking environment and related cost? What are the applicability applied to all activities involving pollution prevention, control, waste treatment? Cost includes equipment operations, maintenance, disposal, monitoring, and classified as direct, pollution specific or indirect. Non-compliance fines, these are excluded. Abnormal environment incidents is also excluded. Next, cost accounting standard 15 deals with selling and distribution overhead. Selling and distribution overhead. What are the objective to standardize cost of marketing, selling and distribution activities apply to cost statement involving delivery and sales include warehousing, logistic, freight and sales, commissioning, advertising, assigned via sales unit, revenue or other driver-based methods. Now, what are the exclusion part? After sales service, if separate traceable, abnormal cost, penalties. Cost accounting section 16 is deals with the depreciation, amortization, ensure consistency in assigning depreciation and amortization to cost object. Now, what are the applicability applied to all depreciable and amortizable asset based on useful life, salvage value, flow schedule 2 of Companies Act. ये ध्यान देना. And what are the exclusions part? Impairment losses, abnormal write-offs. Next is cost accounting standard 17 that is deals with interest and financing charges. Their objective is standardized assignment of interest and financing charges applied where borrowing and finance cost form part of cost. Now the cost is interest and lease financing charges and exchange losses assigned by cause effect or benefit received. Now what are the exclusion? Imputed interest, penal interest, fines, etc. Cost accounting standard 18 deals with research and development cost. To ensure consistency in identifying assigning R&D cost apply to all R&D costs relevant to production, service and sale. Include direct material, employee cost, expenses traceable to R&D, distinguish between product and R&D and process R&D, that is also part important. Amortize if benefits span multiple periods. Now, what are the exclusion? Abandoned project cost, generate research without benefit traceability. Cost accounting standard 19 deals with joint cost. To standardize the treatment of joint or byproduct cost applied to process yielding two or more simultaneously produced or outputs. Now, joint product is multiple output with significant value. Byproduct is incidental low value output. We all know that because हम लोगों ने ये सब कुछ already किया है cost में, right? Joint product byproduct. Allocation based on NRV हो गया या फिर sales ratio हो गया, technical metrics हो गया. Exclusion में क्या आएगा? Abnormal scrap, cost of unrelated activities. These are the exclusions. Next is cost accounting standard 20 deals with royalty and technical know-how fee. What are the objective? To bring unify accounting royalty for royalty and know-how. Now, what are the applicable apply to repayment for IP, licensing, know-how, includes royalty on sales, productions, technical service fees assigned based on usage contract terms. Now, what are the exclusions? Payment, penal paid payments, non-business related royalties. Next is quality control cost. Cost accounting standard 21. Quality control. Ensure consistent costing of quality assurance and inspection. Apply to cost statement involving quality control processes. What is the inclusion? Cost include testing, rework, inspection, certification, assigned by traceability and cost driver. Customer complaint penalties is there also part. Rework from abnormal defects. Cost accounting standard 22 deals with manufacturing cost, that is framework to compile full cost of manufacturing activity. Apply to all manufacturing entities. Cost is material plus employee plus direct expenses plus overhead, includes joint and batch production principles. WIP adjustment requires. What are the exclusions? Finance charges, abnormal losses, donation, etc. Next is overburden removal cost. Cost accounting standard 23. For mining provides method for cost of overburden removal and adjustment. Now, what are the applies to mining and extraction industries for removing overburden? What are the inclusions? Overburden is nothing but earth or surface removed to access minerals measured by stripping ratio. That is important. ठीक है? Assigned based on area and mining plan. What are the exclusions? Abnormal cost, non-mining related land or clearing. Next is cost accounting standard 24. Treatment of revenue in cost statement to ensure consistent reporting of revenue in cost statement. Applies to any cost statement to that reconcile revenue with the cost. Now revenue will know that sales or service, scrap, subsidies, distinguish between operational and other revenues, and adjustment made for discount and returns. Now what are the exclusions? Unrealized gains, abnormal gains, these are the exclusion part. So we have covered these cost accounting standards from 1 to 24. My purpose is to give you an overview of these standards, and for intermediate students, I think these are enough. Once you have completed these things, I think you are ready for the exams and for MCQs as well, because MCQ में generally objective पूछा जाता है cost accounting standard का, include क्या क्या है उसमें पूछा जाता है, exclude क्या क्या है वो पूछा जाता है. So for MCQs these are more than enough, and for theoretical also, if anything come up like describe the cost accounting standard 21, then you can, once you have completed this video, you can write in your own way. Just these things are important, that is that deals with that applicability, that objectivity, that inclusions and exclusions. So मैंने उसी हिसाब से आप लोगों का ये टेब्यूलर फॉर्मेट में होल कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड को कवर अप किया है. For final students, I will again clearly mention that once you have completed your study materials of cost accounting standards, then you can come to these videos and complete the lectures, and after that you can start your practices, because for finals practical questions also comes from these topics, and these are very important as well for final students. And I hope through this video you will be able to get an overall idea about the cost accounting standards. And for intermediate students, I again say that these are enough, right? So with all, I am completed this lecture as well, and I hope it will help you for your preparations, for your exam preparations, for your upcoming exams as well. So thank you so much for listening to these whole videos, and I will share the notes as well in our descriptions of the videos. Okay, so thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye bye. Take care.